In today's live stream, we're going to be talking about why being alone is a great thing. Now, many of you might think being alone means you're lonely. That is not the case. Being alone is actually a great thing. And the reason why, oh gosh, this is going to be a problem. Alright, being alone can mean many, many things. Right? And it doesn't mean lonely. So let's just get that misunderstanding out of the way. Being alone is a great thing because it creates space for spiritual connection, helps you get closer to God, teaches you to rely on something deeper, and helps discover who you are. And we're going to be breaking all these down. So I think most people that are alone don't realize that when you're alone, you are actually finding out who you truly are. This is actually one of the best ways to, become the best version of you, because you are not distracted. You are not, let's test out my mic. Distracted. All right, good, it works. Chat. Right. So let's get into it. So being alone will teach you to rely on something deeper. When you're by yourself, you're not leaning on other people. You're not leaning on other noise, routines, or what other people are telling you to do. When you're alone, you find out who you truly are. And when you find out who you truly are, nobody's going to be distracting you. Nobody's going to be bothering you. You have all the time in the world for you and God. And this is actually one of the best ways to strengthen your faith with God, the best way for you to connect with God. So this is a big thing right here alone, right? But also, you get to discover, who you truly are. And when you discover who you truly are, nobody's going to bother you. The other thing about being alone is the fact that you'll discover who you truly are. And I don't mean this in the same way, but I mean this in a way where you get to find out what you want in life. Because when you find out who you truly are, you're going to find out what you want. You're going to find out what you actually want. You're going to find out that most of the things people tell you are programs, are limiting beliefs from other people. When you're alone, nobody's going to bother you. I found it when I'm alone that I found out who I truly was. I found out what I really want, who I really wanted to be. And I also found out that who I didn't want to be, what other people were telling me to, things that didn't serve me, beliefs that other people told me. It was more about unlearning. Being alone helped me unlearn all the things society said, the whole thing about how money's the root of all evil, whether it's organic food isn't even, good or whatever it is. Like, the truth is, there's just so much unlearning. And that's what happened when I became alone. But remember, it's not forever. It's only a temporary time. Could be a few days, a week, whatever it is, right? Being alone doesn't mean you can't go outside or get out of the house. And if you are alone, just know that it's not a bad thing at all. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely, doesn't mean anything bad. Some of the most powerful spiritual moments happen when you're alone, because that's when your soul can breathe, and that's when you can act who you truly are. So I think when you're alone, that's when you naturally act yourself. And if you're someone who acts fake out there, try to show off on the social media, when you're alone and there's nobody around or no cameras, that's when you're truly your best self. I think a lot of people on social media that are fake, or people who've embrace a different version of themselves that feeds their customers or viewers, feeds whatever feeds, I don't care what it is. But those people that act a certain way on the internet will probably feel relief when they're by themselves. And again, when you're alone, distractions fade, you're caught up in other people's opinions, energy, or expectations. The quiet space makes it easier for you to pray, meditate, or listen to your intuition or to God, or whatever higher power you believe in. So if you are alone, just realize that it's not forever, and being alone isn't a bad thing. So, alone time strengthens discernment. When you spend time alone, your spiritual discernment sharpens. You start to feel the difference between your voice, God's voice, and the world's noise. So, it really helps you discern, though. You learn to love yourself the way God does. Solitude gives you a chance to actually see yourself, your flaws, and strengths. And when you see all those things, you don't see yourself this. Josh, man, come on, bro. Hey, man, God bless, bro, for sure. I don't know what we got going on today. It's just back to back. It really is back to back. Probably the same person, honestly. I don't even know. It's alright. You realize you're never truly alone. From a spiritual perspective, you're never alone. God, the universe, or your higher power is always present. When you're not surrounded by others, you're most likely to feel that divine presence and realize it's been there all the time. When you're alone, you realize that there's no pressure. It teaches you to move with purpose. When you're alone, you're not rushing to meet others' expectations. You're in the present moment. Isolation. It depends on how long, right? I guess that's a real question. It depends on how long. I don't think it's bad for the spirit though, unless I'm not understanding the isolation here though, right? Like, I mean, if you just hide in your house all day, that's just gonna destroy your health in general. It's gonna destroy your physical health because you're breathing the same air. So it just depends, really. But when we're talking about being alone, my goal, and that's kind of been like the whole point of the stream, is to make being alone a cool thing, you know? But isolation is kind of different because then you're just kind of getting away from everything, I would assume. You know, in this situation, you could still be alone even if you're surrounded by people. You could be alone in school. Like, I was alone in school. I was the lone wolf, though. That's what it became. And I was really happy. But, yeah, I definitely think long term it's just bad for your overall health. But But being alone isn't entirely a bad thing. But it depends on how long though. I don't think I said that at all. I think we're. I really have no idea what's going on over here. I mean, your first comment already threw me off, so I'm guessing you're trying. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over here. But we're not talking about isolation. We're talking about being alone and the benefits of being alone. Yeah. All right. All right. I think we pretty much nailed a bunch of points. I was only going to go with like 5 points for today, but we shot up to 10 points. I don't even know why you even did that though, John. Like, why would you even do that? And then all of a sudden hit me with a God bless. Like, I'm actually, I don't really care if you said that because this is an everyday thing I deal with people. I just don't understand why you would kind of do that and then joke immaturely and then hit me with a God bless. Like, it makes no sense at all, right? But anyway, I don't really care. You have a good one. I appreciate everybody for tuning into the stream. It is what it is. I forgive and move on. It's just really confusing. All right, I'm out of here, man. Y'all have a good one.